Are there any new developments today? Have you learned of any?
I know that the deputy foreign minister was arrested. I feel very bad for him because I think they're going to torture him. Aside from that, no real new developments. I know they've set up a transitional council in Algeria.
What do you mean, a transitional council in Algeria?
They've set up a transitional body that's supposed to represent the opposition. You know, there's a transitional council in Syria, and there's one in Libya, and now there's one in Algeria.
So it's a new jargon phrase for, like we had Al-Qaeda of the Maghreb and Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Now we got trans
Okay, do you want to focus on? Yeah, they have these transitional bodies always stay. If you look, Somalia had a transitional body. Kosovo has a transitional body that stayed for 10 years.
Please fill us in on Algeria, because that's the big question. Is it Algeria or on the agenda?
Well, I think definitely, because if you look at Algeria, of course, the French have long-term plans for Algeria to make it a direct province or department of France, and this never went through, and there was obviously the Algerian War of Independence, and France is a declining colonial power now, and what we've seen is like the United States has taken over all these old colonial designs. I think I mentioned this, like when you speak about Algeria and the Islamic Maghreb, which is essentially an intersection of North Africa and Western Africa. It's Northwest Africa. You see the areas the United States is talking about, these new Al-Qaeda franchises. That's what they refer to them as, Al-Qaeda franchises. They're setting a budget aside to fight them, and if you look at the area which the United States considers to be Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb's territory or range within this region, it's actually very close to the lines that the French outlined for a department they wanted to create out of southern Algeria and other parts of Northwest Africa. So the United States is like, it has adopted the old colonial designs of France. France is, I feel very secure and sure about saying I think France has been co-opted into the empire of the United States. It is now, it has entered the empire of the United States.
It's a big devil at this time. I would like any information you have on this transitional council in Algeria, but I also think that as much as America is under Israel's thumb, so is France. But anyway.
Well, yeah, there is strong influence of players that obviously have interests in Israel that are in France and in the United States. They talk about wag the dog, does the tail wag the dog and stuff like that. Like this is a different debate in itself, but definitely that is a factor in this equation. But what I wanted to say about Algeria and that part of North Africa and West Africa is the French outlined the department there specifically because of the resources they knew were there. They already knew certain resources like uranium were there. And now if you look at a lot of French corporations, they've been amalgamated into, they've made amalgamations with American and British companies. German companies the same, they're making an amalgamation. So rivalry has turned into cooperation as they've amalgamated their corporate bodies. And this is why there's this focus on Algeria and Western Africa right now. And it's to go after those resources. And along the way, they're going to change the societies there and redefine the boundaries. And you hear of this divide between Arabs and Berbers and other ethnic groups. And this is just to balkanize the region. Like everybody here has probably heard of the New Middle East. Well, this is the New North Africa, which you can call the New Middle East by extension, I guess, as well, because North Africa and the Middle East are very intertwined and organically attached.
Are you familiar with Niger? It's just south of Algeria.
Yes, I am. Niger's interlinked with Libya and Algeria. They have ethnic groups, tribes that cross the borders of all three countries, more than all three other countries as well.
I suspect it was a bit of a staging post for a lot of what went on in Libya. I just know I got a lot of views on the videos from Niger, and that was rather suspect, you know?
Well, the thing is, I have to tell you, a lot of people in Niger support the Libyan government and Libya. There's a strong support from Niger and other parts of Africa for the Libyan Arab Jamahiriya and for Colonel Gaddafi. Very Pan-African, strong Pan-African movement. Niger's one of them because Niger's been a beneficiary of Libya and Libya.
That makes sense.
And
that
Libyan
makes sense.
and African projects.
But I mean, if you have,
there's a lot of people from Niger who worked in Libya, and you see a lot of their flags in these Libyan rallies. Like that's one of the prominent flags that flies in Libya during these rallies. You know, the rallies in Libya while I was there represented the spirit of Africa in a way too, because there was all these different flags from different parts of Africa. Of course, you saw flags from Arab countries like Syria, and you saw Palestinian flags, Lebanese flags, but you also saw a lot of flags from different parts of Africa, from Madagascar to Niger to Algeria to Ghana. They were all flying there.
Have you any information on this transitional council in Algeria?
What I know about it is very sketchy right now. It is obviously something I'm going to pay attention to learn more. All I can tell you that it's been formed, and that these Al-Qaeda-like movements in Algeria are something that the French, the Americans, extent all for years worked on creating and controlling.
Wow. Wow. I mean, the Algerian government, through the civil war, obviously has its eyes on all these Al-Qaeda types. But
yes, but they've also used them too, to stay in power. The Algerian military has done this. Sometimes Frankenstein's monster can get out of control. And I can tell you, in a lot of places in the world, that the terrorist organizations or these deviant organizations and extremists, local governments have always, to some extent, have used them, to roll back civil liberties, and they've been behind them. This includes Egypt.
Oh. All of them, for sure. I was asked if I would do a little video about Zionist involvement in the war on Libya. And I kind of got a little afraid. But, I mean, why? Well, because they might want to knock me off. That's one of their things they're very capable of. But I've been told that they ran the psychological warfare from Naples. It was all Israelis. Israeli businessmen were seen in that hotel where you were. But
who told you this? The Rexes or the Radisson? They were in all of them, but which one?
Well, there you go. The one by the beach.
Listen,
you called it Radisson, but it's got another name.
Radisson Al-Mahari. There's the Corinthian, there's the Radisson.
Corinthian.
Okay. Well, I got to tell you something. Under the laws of Libya, Israelis are not allowed there. These are the laws, and I'm not saying the laws follow. Anybody who visits Israel or occupied Palestine is not allowed in Libya. So that's one of the reasons a lot of foreign journalists were not allowed.
You've frozen. I have lost you.